Transverse process, right? Find the transverse process, and you'll notice, oh my gosh, there's a little facet on that. Okay? That little facet is specific to the ribs, and that's referred to as the costo-transverse facet right there. Let me zoom in on that. You want to say Costco because you love Costco, but it's the it's called the costo-transverse facet. So do you guys see letter E? Put a letter E right there. See that little shaded portion right there? Put a letter E right there. Make sense? That's going to be for the rib. I'll show you how the rib articulates. Okay? Is this the body right here?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see how it has two dimples? Okay. You only find these on thoracic. These are called demifacets. Superior rib demifacet, so you can make this letter L, and then you can make this letter M. So L is in Larry, M is in Mary down here. M, L, M. Yes? Why do we have these little dimples? What articulates with the thoracic? Your ribs. How many pairs of ribs do you have?
6.
Yeah, 12. How about 12 pairs in females? How many thoracic vertebrae do you have? 12. The rest is the, okay, and then the sharp edge. Inferior margin. Is that bottom or the top? Well, it's inferior, so it's got to be at the bottom, right? And then next to the inferior margin, what is this little valley right here called? Costal groove. Who lives there? Okay, now get that rib, and you want it on the exam. Now we're going to start left and right. If you're going to go to a station, you can pick it up, and then you could wear it. All right. You can put the bumps on the back, inferior margin at the bottom. And then when you breathe like a bucket handle. You'll go. Let's do that again. You will take, what is this part right here? The head. You're going to have the head touch the demifacet. Okay? It'll actually hit the demifacet of one and then the demifacet of the one above it. Okay? And then what's this bump here called? Let's that tubercle, we're going to make that hit the costo-transverse. And so when you breathe in, it'll go pivot up, down. So that pivot is happening right there. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay. So on your way to taking a break, you'll see that the head, all these little projections are actually right here. What are these? Transverse processes. Okay. Now, the nose always faces down. So if you're ever trying to like what's going on here, bless you. Nose faces down. What is this things that I could pinch? Yes. Superior articular process. That's superior articular process. Is this the inferior articular process? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they both have smooth surfaces? What do you want to call these smooth surfaces?
Facets.
Those are the facets, right? Superior and inferior articular facet. It's probably on your chin. Your whole. Let's talk about these guys. So, these are really interesting here. What vertebrae is this? This is back on page 108.
Cervical.
How did you know?
The
The bifid, right? And also the transverse foramina, right? Okay, now, these are hard to find sometimes. You may not have it. But if you have the whole chain of vertebrae, go to the very top of it, okay? The very top, you should see one of them that looks like a ring, okay? This one actually has no body. Nobody, okay? Nobody. So there's the body of this one actually attached to C2. This is basically C1. I'd like you to know two names for C1. It's called C1 or the Atlas. Remember, the Atlas was the Greek god that held the world, right? What's the world in your world? Your head, right? Your head is the world. And what's holding the world? The Atlas. So note it as Atlas C1. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the bifurcated process is not very exciting. So that's one thing. Does it want you to do all these things on the Atlas? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if we can do some of the bottom line stuff. Okay. See how there's a bump in the front and a bump in the back? What's the fancy for bump? Tubercle. So let's call this one the anterior tubercle. Right here. So that's letter what? There's no letter? How dare they? So just put like AT here for anterior tubercle.
Oh. Yeah, it's on 107.
It is on 107, the letters?
No, it's not less.
No, it's just kind of like listed in there.
It's just listed but no letters. Yeah. Shame on them. Okay. Anterior tubercle. How about posterior tubercle? Yes? Okay. Okay, the one that's being shown here, these smooth surfaces, like this, what do you think these smooth surfaces are called?
Facets.
That I can feel. These are the facets. So the way this is oriented, let's call these ones here the superior articular facet, right there. Here and there. And is there a letter for that one?
F.
Oh, there is. F for facet right there. So F and F. Yes? And then I'll do one more with you. What do you want to call these holes? Transverse. Foramen is one, foramen is both, right? That would be what? A as in apple? These are A's. Yes? Those are the big things there. I just highlighted like the major stuff. Okay? Now look at this one. If this is C1, this is going to be C2. Okay? C2 is interesting. It kind of looks like this dude right here. You guys see the football player like praying? Okay? You see him right there? Okay? This thing right there used to be the body of C1. It's like, why did it fuse like that? Because you want to be able to have like a little pivot point. See that? Isn't that cool? Okay? So what's happening to your head here is you're going, no. I can't go out tonight. I'm studying. Okay? Right? So that's you. This is a pivot joint right there. Nope. Sorry. Okay? So this guy right here, I want you to know it by two names. It's called the axis and also C2. Kind of like the axis of your wheel, right? Like your wheel spins on an axis in your car. So that's that. What are the things that stand out on this guy? I would say this thing right here I like. It's called the dens. Or you can call it the odontoid process. What are you guys going to call it? The dens. Okay? And it looks, because it looks like a tooth. Do you guys agree it kind of looks like a little tooth?
Yeah.
Okay? A tooth, right? And why would you want it to be there? Because, boom. Isn't that beautiful? Creates a little pivot action.
Interesting.
Isn't that neat? It's interesting. Okay. Does it have transverse foramina? It does. See right there? And you guys can label it right there, yes? See the two holes? What were the letters for the two holes? Was it A? Yeah, you can give these the two A's. A. What do you want to call this thing right here?
Spinous process.
How about the bifid spinous? Is there a letter for that?
No, there's not.
C. As in cat. Bifurcated spinous process, right? You give this a C. And let's do one more. Oh, what's the smooth shoulder pads that I can feel?
Facets.
Superior or inferior?
Superior.
These are going to be the superior. So superior articular facet. That was the letter F as in Frank, right? Are you guys hanging in there?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Kind of.
Kind of?
Kind of.
Okay, I'll give you guys some time with each other. Bifid spinous process, right? What's the overall name of this guy again? Give me two names. C2
Atlas.
axis.
Axis.
This one right here.
C1.
C1 atlas. What type of joint is this that we just said? It's called a pivot. Make a note of that. Forms a C1, C2 will form a pivot joint. Pivot joint. That's your very first pivot. All right, good. Okay, review, call me over, practice the ribs.